Take and TalkPicks.com. I'm Rob Kruger. This is episode 79 with our Monday message. Well, photo world, I am back this week talking about networking. This week I'm talking about Twitter. We mentioned Facebook last week and how we can use that, the different things we can do with groups and lists and how we post or what we're sharing. There's a lot of things that you can do, but also there's a lot more in Facebook that you don't have to utilize or can implement in a different way. Whereas Twitter, the topic for this week, is pretty specific. You follow people, they follow you, you tag them or hashtag different things. You can post pictures and video and different thoughts and whatever's going on in your life, but if you can use it for your business, I think it's a great tool. And it's actually pretty detailed for being such a simple tool. It's pretty detailed on what you should be doing to kind of keep things in order and keep it clean and in line with a good strategy on making it effective for your networking. Just down to the basics, who are you following? Are they specific people that you look up to? Are they just family and friends that you know along the way here? Do you only follow people who will follow you first, and then you kind of have that automated response where you do a follow back just because it's polite or something? When you're following somebody, do you directly tweet to them? Are you tagging them and starting up a conversation just to say, hey, I'm your follower now, and there's a reason for it because I really like what you're doing, or I'm really inspired by the things you share? Or, is it kind of the opposite? When somebody follows you, do you start up a conversation or mention them in a post right away? There's a lot of little things that you can implement as a strategy to make this kind of work in your favor and have it down to a system. Like for me, anytime I get a new follow, I'd like to say every time I get a new follow, but as often as I can remember to do it, if it comes up on my phone, I'll instantly tweet right back to that person, thanking them for the follow. And sometimes I'll ask a question, sometimes I'll read up on them just for a second, checking out their little profile on Twitter, because it's not a whole lot of information, but it's the least I can do as a thank you, finding out who they are. A few months ago, I interviewed a photographer, and I didn't know how to get in touch with another photographer who I'd like to get on the show, and still haven't gotten them yet, but they recommended going through Twitter, doing a little retweet of what they're sharing and start to be engaged in their topics and their account, so that way they are being validated from my perspective as somebody I respect and look up to and feel that what they're sharing is relevant for me and my business and for the people I have probably following me. This way it shows that I'm interested in their topics and I have something reasonable to discuss and a question to ask when I do engage them directly. Something that most of us forget about with Twitter is if we want to have a large amount of followers, we want to appear like a rock star. This is our game. We just I want to have a huge following. I'm amazing. So I want to put out as much great information. It's going to get that. But the problem with this is we become very secluded in our network, thinking that it should be about us and our pictures and ideas and quotes and things that we find and, what we feel is worth sharing or retweeting. And we hope for followers that way, rather than seeking out others or actually engaging with what they're sharing and tweeting about. That solo act can only grow your network so far. Movie stars and music legends, they have no problem gaining followers, but the average user, you and I, photo world, we need to put in the work, and for building a strong and relevant network, we kind of have to have our own little Twitter profile brand going out there, or at least the interaction that we are some sort of brand. When you're making a post, include your network. Directly tweet to those individuals who are following you. Mention them and build a strong, relevant connection with that individual or a few that would kind of either be able to be inspired from what you're sharing or have something to say back to it, because it's so quick to just be shot down as, here it is, a little post on Twitter, and nobody cares, because we have that every single day. And there's thousands of them, millions of them probably. And, it's like, how do you stand out, right? That's what we're really getting at. So building a strong, relevant network is letting go of the idea that we're some popular individual above all the others. The reality is, in business, there's room for everyone. And that means we're all in it together. So you kind of have to mesh well and share that with them side by side. Bring them into your network, be inspired by their side of things, and be a part of it. It's kind of like the Facebook groups that we talked about last week. You have to have some good content to have feedback on what other people are posting, and then introduce yourself as somebody who can post in this group. For a long time, Photo World, I thought the only thing you could do with Twitter is, favorite things and tag them, others in it and retweet. and just be excited about what other people are saying or try to hopefully get other people excited about what you're saying. But Twitter is way more intense as far as the, work involved to engage conversations with others that you would want in your network. Perhaps there's an article you read or maybe a post on Facebook you relate to. Tweet about it, that specific information, and link back to where it came from. Now you've just given somebody a great compliment thinking that what they have is really worth sharing. And the truth is the information is vast and accessible. We're not holding on to anything specific, and we may be finding similar things out there. But if you relate to that information and you link it out there and link back whatever you got to do to make that connection happen, you've now complimented the creator over there who's come up with this and posted it on their blog or wherever. And now you've shared it as a relevant gateway playing middleman for your network and your expanding network, hopefully, that you know where to find different answers and creative information, things that are going to be beneficial to many rather than just what's in it for me kind of feeling. Simply put, the purpose of Twitter is to, within 140 characters, express an idea, connect to others, or share something. That 140 characters gives us a frame to work within. And hey, photographers, you know all about putting stuff in a frame. So be specific about it. We're very specific about how we take our pictures, how we compose, how we expose, and putting that all together or edit and everything. Why can't we do the same with something as simple as Twitter? Be very specific about what we're sharing and putting in there for our network. So Photo World, with those 140 characters, putting into a frame, being that gateway, playing middleman. Playing middleman has always been a lucrative business. Why not equate that, income or whatever you want to call it, that lucrative business idea into your purpose on Twitter to being a nice floodgate of networking back and forth? You can use that to your advantage. Just to reiterate what kind of importance a network is, I began Take and Talk Pics by cold calling for interviews. I'm just knocking on doors saying, hey, I'm starting this thing. What do you think? And now because of my network, I've been able to kind of build a chain of people that I'm introduced to. So I'll interview a photographer and then I will ask if they know of anybody I can interview. And there's another person now that I can seek out, having a name in hand rather than just showing up on somebody's doorstep. So I'm knocking on doors, but I have a little credibility behind me because of whoever in the past I just interviewed. Same thing on Twitter. Build your network and expand by searching your network's network. Look at who others that you follow are following, especially industry-related individuals. Because if you have a big, nasty, clouded following of, all these famous actors and actresses and music artists and anything else that you would just be kind of pop culture and you're interested in, that's fine, but set up a different account and don't try to mix your business because it's just going to be overwhelmed with all this garbage that really isn't going to be any stepping stone to success or building your business in any way. It's okay to have a personal life. I get it. I have 2 Twitter accounts myself, but you want to kind of keep an option for your business. And if you're going to choose to use Twitter as that option or one of them for networking, then do it with some purpose and some clarity. On a daily basis, have invoking posts that can engage others with questions or comments or even debate. It's just to get the conversation started. How do you do this? Well, there's 1.5 million ways to try it, but you want to come up with an idea, and usually questions work well because people want to help. Even though it seems like most people out there aren't really interested in helping, if you put out the question, there are plenty out there who want to be the person who knows the answer. And if we don't ask, we're not going to get anywhere. So be that person, and you can definitely get somewhere. So Photo World, I'm not going to bog you down with any more information on how to network with Twitter. Just go out and do it. And really what I want to warn you about is, as I continue to really break down different network options or ways to network, you need to be specific about it. It's so hard to pick up the phone and just say, hey, I'm going to do Twitter. And that's it. And go for it. Oh, wait, I'm going to do Facebook. And that's it. And go for it. Oh, I should post on Instagram. And maybe I need to use EveryPost or Hootsuite or put it on Pinterest or use LinkedIn. It is too much at first. You can build into more, but it's really hard to dial down and be successful at it. So just start small and grow with it. So if you like the Twitter idea, get on there, do Twitter. If you like the Facebook idea, get on there and do Facebook. Use those network options because they acquire a lot of your time and attention. And it's not like it has to be a full-time job, but it does have to be a part of your business. Take it easy. Have a good one, photo world. Thanks for tuning in to another Monday message. Happy shooting and happy networking.